Okay, waiting for the world to come in. The
Richard in
let's
nature, yes.
let's give them a moment to. Yes, I'm out here. I've gone.
Off the
I've
grid,
gone
Richard.
on my outward bound.
Yeah, exactly. Did
Yeah.
you get a
All
big
right. Let's.
compensation last week, Richard? Be a lot of big paychecks in Hollywood to start. Maybe you should get if Brian Robbins or Bob Backus shows you some money, Richard, for any bets.
My
Listen.
my my pay is pegged to Bob Backish's.
Oh,
I
that is you would have done
yeah.
very well this past year. Yeah, get a
Well,
cut
no,
of that.
I get 1/100th of whatever Bob Backish gets
That
is
actually wouldn't be. I
my
would take that
contribution.
action.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, turned out pretty good week. So uh,
yeah.
next year might not be so good for me, but
No, the Backus rule next year will be a lot less. So make sure
yeah,
you save that money this year.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay, we're here to talk box office, which is normally these days a chat of gloom and sadness and everything, and for some reason this week we actually have good news. I don't know what to do with that.
different script for us. Yeah, like Richard, it's
Yeah,
funny. If you went back 4 weeks, literally, we have just been cut off a slate of Snow White, Mickey 17, the month of March and February that were a little this way, and now we're at the end of April. Thunderbolts is on Friday. And it's been 4 weeks. You wouldn't even recognize March. I don't even know what you're talking about anymore. This changed
yeah,
so much, which is what the box office is, Richard. And always important to keep that in mind.
yeah. Net last week's box office does not predict this week's or anything. But I mean, first of all, we should say over the last month in particular, there had been this demand that Warner Brothers out of control.
Yep.
Fire Mike Ruckel and Pam Adby. They're spending too much money for these films that are going to be a plot, and it was really nice last week to be able to do a whole week of sort of "I told you so"
Yeah.
to everybody there. But what's actually nicer than that is to be able to do a second week of it right now. So you stupid idiots who were all just banking on uh, Minecraft was going to fail, Sinners was going to fail. How could they give Ryan Coogler all this money for an original film? Nobody is seeing original films anymore. What? And yet here we are. What do you? So uh,
But it's also people who should kind of know better, Richard. It's
yeah,
everybody's reacting. Even last weekend was like, well, it opened big, but and I'm like, this, the chapter. It's amazing what word of mouth can do, Richard. For a film, it's Sinners, for those who don't know, or made $45 million, another 45 million this weekend. It's just down only 6% from its opening weekend,
which
and now.
it is for the horror genre. Is that an all
Oh,
time?
I mean, it's Get Out was like minus 15%, which is probably some people using that as like, I mean, yeah, unheard of for if you're going to count it as a horror movie, and I think it kind of crosses a few genres myself, but yeah, unheard of in that regard. Still on, doing well on IMAX again, a big screen experience. The Thunderbolt screens get the screens on Friday, but you're talking $123 million in the U.S. and $162 million global. It's like this thing probably it's not going to make any money. Asterisk. I'm like, give it time. You never, anybody who judges anything on the first weekend for a movie that is well regarded and people really seem to love, like at your own peril. And this is exactly what we're seeing now, Richard, is what you just said to start off the conversation. Like, hey, who looks dumb now?
Yeah, and whatever they paid Ryan Coogler.
Yeah,
Um,
he deserves it. It's
so
great.
you you know a studio, as we learn, is a collection of its properties and
Hmm.
collection of the things they have. And a week ago, they had in this space they had an empty plot, and now they have sitters sitting in it,
Right.
and now they have people coming back to the movies and excited about it. So what is that worth? It's like my proposition that I put forth is this is the time for the film business to start doing crazy things, because doing safe things does
Yeah.
not is not working right now, and we are on the brink of chasing everybody away from the movies with the safeness. So if you meet a if you're running a studio and you're walking down the street and you meet a talented director who has a vision for something new that he wants to make, you should give him everything you have, because you're it's a, how much is it worth for the whole business to not go in flames? Like, what's the P&L on this on that?
Yeah, right. Put your whole library into it. Exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
we did our franchise, kind of state of the franchises recap there earlier this year, Richard. And yeah, a lot of them are out of gas or in the shop or whatever it might be. And it is this moment in the business where, yeah, guys, it's time for new stuff to come in the door here. This period of 10, 12, or 15 years that was riding on it. Throwing COVID, throwing the strikes, et cetera, et cetera. But this is that moment, Richard. And this is what's even better about the center situation is that people are responding to it. It's not this, there's this headline in Wall Street Journal. People don't want to see original movies, yada, yada, all these things, all these tropes, in one movie. That's the power of movies, Richard. One movie can just kill all these tropes and be like, it just depends on the movie. And everybody always, kind of forgets that about. And with what you're saying, Richard, yeah, try things. Some of them aren't going to work. And that has to be, not everyone, it's going to be some big failure out there, but upside
Yep.
and downside. And this is, kind of comes with the job, Richard. Really, is the why you get paid to be a studio head, is to take the hits and take the, and take the victory laps as well. It comes both hand in hand there, Richard.
Not to mention Minecraft, which was
Yeah, you should.
talked
Yeah,
about like it was DOA, like right up to the day that it opened. Like
I mean,
has now made 800 million worldwide.
yeah, probably on the way to a billion. That's still, went down 44% each week, and there's great story there. That will, obviously that again. I mean, it's based on, obviously it's existing IP, but like that's a franchise now. So again, as you said, Richard, building these new franchises out. But we had four films doing over $20 million this weekend, which again, for a business that just 4 weeks ago that was kind of dead in the gutter, and it's like you're ruining the habit. And look, there's are valid concerns, but if you have the product, if you market it well, there's evidence. The evidence is to me is people want to come out and see it. So that always gives me encouragement, Richard.
Yeah. And Jason Pearson pointed out the chicken jockey moment for Minecraft, and I, I think that is really important. I think chicken jockey is an important thing we need to talk about, and I'll be talking about it more in my column today, actually. But
Oh,
but that we in this is where the energy and the culture is right now, in these kind of crazy viral moments, and these things, and these the kids today, they just get funny things in their head, and for to become a receptacle for these sorts of things, is how you get film back to the center of our culture right now.
it's creating
Is
events, Richard. Exactly, and Sinners is an event, and it's not about throwing popcorn into the screen, but it's becoming an event for a lot of people too. Again, it's just again catching the conversation, Richard. You have to go see this or do this, and it becomes the center point for people's conversations, which Hollywood still has the power to do, despite the derision of everybody's on TikTok, everybody's on social. It's all about these things. Like, it's not the only thing, which again, maybe it used to be, Richard, but it still has a very big role. And this is an example of A and B on two different sides of the coin there. One on a mass market, go, kids for quadrant, and one on a film that I, thought was excellent. I went to the theater on Saturday afternoon here in New York City. People clapped at the end. This is weekend two. And I'm like, all right, and it just was a great experience. I really just enjoyed it. I'm like, there's no reason why this shouldn't be in a lot of award conversations. It's Michael B. Jordan's fantastic. The music is fantastic. Everything's been talking about. So again, all the things we talk about, like when it comes together, it still works extremely well. So
and Star Wars in
and
Episode
Star Wars,
Three,
yes, of course. We're
Revenge of
forgetting,
the
yeah.
Sith, made $25 million. The
He said,
re-release of the entirely unwatchable Episode Three.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think this was one that people really even liked, as far as I recall. But I'm not a Star Wars expert, so don't get me started on that. But
To the 25 million people that do you think they're all seeing it again, or can there be some people
Well, here's the
because
interesting part of the demo, the opening night demos, Richard. 71% was 18 to 34-year-olds. So these people were not even born yet to 14 years old when the first one came out. So this was the majority, again, this is opening night, but the majority of people who had not seen this movie in the theater and wanted to go have that experience to the tune of $25 million. So that's your answer, Richard. Like, yeah, I don't know.
want to have the experience of knowing disappointment like we did 20 years ago.
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Uh, but on a large scale. So
Yeah.
glad that they glad
That's
they but
like,
but once again, making events of things,
yes.
making things have a larger meaning in the culture than just like here's the latest chapter of Fast and the Furious, which
Right. Like people could, I know you do.
I always use that as an example. I need another
We need
example
to
because
get off the,
I'm
yeah,
I'm targeting Fast and Furious too much as
unfairly.
yeah, it is. It is. But I know a lot of people that really do actually love that
I
series.
love
But
some of them. I love some of them, but
yeah,
yeah, that's a movie you can watch right home, right now, and again, giving people the experience to come together, have a good time. So it was great. And then The Accountant 2, still doing 25 million of a sequel to a 2016 film that Ben Affleck, John Bernthal. But we're just curious, Richard. That movie cost $80 million, and no one's talking about as much as Sinners was
yeah,
$90 million, and that's isn't the conversation people are having today. So it's just funny how the things people focus on sometimes, Richard, from movie to movie.
yeah. Uh, $54 million for King of Kings, which looks like it was made on like your phone animation generator or something like
Okay,
that.
I'm
Like
not. This is an animated film from the folks at Angel. It was produced by a company in South Korea, actually. So about something to do with the story of Jesus, I suppose. But yeah, $55 million in the U.S. So that's lents over. So that's kind of dipping down. But yeah, that's a great result for a movie for, as you said, not the $27 million budget, not crazy. So people showed
do we
up.
have any idea what they spent on marketing for that? Or
I have not seen. It's the Angel model, so they have that kind of Angel network, Richard, where they kind of put the word
yeah,
out. This is, of course, the Sound of Freedom went through this way, and a few other other
mhm.
films. It works to varying degrees and various various. Angel's had a lot of films. Some of them hit more than most, but if you time it right, again, it's just, again, Richard, providing movies for different audiences. It's not just about one, and it's they can have success in varying degrees, and they still, again, like to come together to have an experience and watch this movie together. So in a theater, but. A lot of diverse action in the marketplace, Richard, for sure. Then a Pink Floyd movie from 1971 in IMAX, Richard, making
Yeah.
$2.6 million. So
The, the what so what were the demographics on that?
yeah, I don't
I'm
see
gonna
what the
bet
exit polls were on that one.
that wasn't 18 to 34 year old.
Probably not. Although you never know. But although I will note, Richard, on the Accountant, the demos on opening night, that was the biggest demo was 50 over 55 at 27%. So again, just different experiences for different, again, with the movies, again, offering movies for different people to come out, and you're again reinforcing that idea that you've talked about, that there will be something for me at the theater, and it's
Yeah.
the more you can do that and repeatedly do that, the more they'll come back out and think about it versus not even thinking about it, which is the worst
Yeah.
result you can have there. So
So it's not just this giant spectacle with a $300 million marketing budget.
or
Every
bust, yeah,
that once every 2 years you say, okay, I'll go out for that. That that people are thinking about. Hey, it's Friday night. Let's go to a
right,
movie. What's playing? And then they look at and they look at the listings and find something for them. So
exactly. And so, but we have Thunderbolts Friday, Richard. You're a Marvel guy, so this one. Again, this is kind of we'll see how this is going to do. The reviews are kind of, this is a little bit darker of a, again, it's not a sequel to a previous installation here. So I'm very curious about this one. I'm not a
yeah,
Marvel person. I would kind of be curious to see this movie. The advertising has got me intrigued, but I'm very curious to see how this
I
goes, Richard.
I will be attending the premiere tonight.
Okay. I
At the
did not
Dolby
know.
Theaters, but
All right.
the yeah, I so I this was like the one Marvel movie that's interested me in the last like couple of years.
Same here. I mean,
That looks fun.
Deadpool aside, but yeah,
But I had the feeling at CinemaCon, and this is like reading the temperature of the room, which is a inexact science.
at your own peril. But
Uh,
yes, yes,
yeah, but at CinemaCon with the theater owners, I went in thinking like, oh, Thunderbolts is something different and exciting, and then they've got Fantastic Four, which is another cookie cutter. And I was like, who needs that? What do you think of? And from the energy in the room, and this is a very traditional
yes,
hidebound. This is not, these are not film students or
yeah,
underground, but I felt like they were just the opposite. They were sort of like they saw the Thunderbolts trailer and they're like, huh, okay, sort of dirty superheroes yelling at each other. Uh, what is that? And then they saw Fantastic Four. They're like, oh my god, look at the Silver Surfer. That's so
yeah. I
cool.
know what that is.
Those
Yeah,
costumes.
yeah.
Yeah. So that did you felt the same
Yeah, I mean,
sense there?
and again, I bring my own baggage to it. And Fantastic Four has had two attempts, neither of which were well heralded here. For me, I just like it's just they're just trying to make this thing happen again, and I'm like, I don't, this is this going to be any better at making it happen? Maybe I don't know. It's coming out late summer or late-ish in the summer, end of July, which is a tricky period where people can be fatigued by that stuff at that point, or they could be looking for something. We'll see how it goes, but. Yeah, Thunderbirds. Sorry, Thunderbolts. Thunderbirds are moving. Thunderbolts. That's why it just feels fresh. Which it's going to be back to again as it should. The execution. I think word of mouth. I think the opening weekend is going to
Yeah.
be the tracking around. I think 70 million, something like that, which is fine for Marvel. It's not huge. We'll see if it over indexes. But if it hits that, no, this is fresh. You need to go see it. It's not just a cut paste, iteration of a previous story, but it's going to live and die by the quality, which I'm all for. We'll find out. You'll find out tonight, and have to let me know what you
I
think.
mean, the question. I mean, they're selling this like an A24 movie, like it's like some kind of
But I think it
gritty.
is a little edgier. It looks that way. It's the characters
So
are not.
so my question is Marvel really able to do gritty beyond just like one scene of them like arguing
Mm,
with each other? Like,
yeah,
is it gonna be one scene of them like being nasty and then just kind of
back to
and
the
then
things
fall
Yeah.
fall into the formula. So that's my question for it. But
All right. Well,
uh,
I'm excited for you tonight. You will find out, and yeah, look forward to hearing what you think, Richard. So.
thank you. Anything else we need to look at
I
in this
think
week's
we're
box
good.
office?
Yeah, just again, four movies, over 20 million. Even Sinners, we'll see. What does this? It's just exciting to watch, Richard, to see again. Like there's no comp for this, as you mentioned, horror genre, and none of these previous, kind of traditional things about what this movie should do. Which I think it's great when you have that moment in the box office, Richard. It's just fun to watch, and summer start. Yes, and Thunderbolts kicks off summer, so summer has arrived, Richard. So
Yep.
we'll have to do we have to do our picks for the summer, Richard. Our top three, maybe next week. Our top three box office
Oh boy.
picks. So it's that time of year.
Okay.
All right,
I think I'm going back to the Mission Impossible.
all right.
Well,
One
it's
last time, Tom needs you one
where
last time, Richard. Just one
yeah,
last
yeah,
time. That's it.
I'll fall for it again. Okay, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you at the movies.
Maybe trademark, Richard. I don't think you can use that.
Yeah, we'll see you at the multiplex,
Thanks, everybody.
at the popcorn counter.
All right, we'll write this down offline, Richard.
We'll see you somewhere. Bye bye.
Yeah. Bye.